Emergivec Sharia, South Africa's first and only fully Sharia-compliant family medical takaful and wellness product, wishes all listeners Ramadan Kareem. Download the Emergivec app today and get free immediate access to the Emergivec Sharia collection of du'as, hadith, Quran, and much, much more. We continue with the iftar drive, and today being the last Jummah of the month of Ramadan, a special significance of this day, Al Quds Day, which is observed on the last Friday of this month of Ramadan. And the key question is, why should it matter to you and to me now more than ever? We're talking with geopolitical analyst Zaakir Mayet. Zaakir, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jummah Mubarak to you and welcome.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jummah Mubarak to yourself, Mr. Wadi, and the wonderful listeners. And shukran for having me on the show this afternoon.
Yes, Al Quds Day, and Alhamdulillah, once again, we have this opportunity this last Friday in the month of Ramadan to observe this day. And we've seen right across the entire world, we've seen it in many parts around Africa as well. And, it's being commemorated today. And I think more so than ever, considering what has been happening in Palestine in the last 7 months or so, and since October 7 in Gaza as well, Tufan Aqsa that Hamas had obviously called for as well. So everything is surrounding, it's about Al Quds, it is about Masjid Al Aqsa, and clearly this time around it should matter more than at any point in time in recent history, Zaakir.
Most definitely, I cannot agree more. I think that we are very fortunate to be alive in a very special time, and a time when, for the first time in a very long period, we are seeing the possibility of the defeat of the Zionist entity which has oppressed and shackled Masjid al-Aqsa. And that is the primary goal. And we must understand the context of the battles that we are seeing in Gaza, in the north, and various groupings that are assisting. Yemenis, Ansar Allah has helped tremendously to assist in the battle. And the aim is to liberate Masjid al-Aqsa. And as you rightly say, it's Tufan al-Quds. During Ramadan, it was the Ramadan flood for Masjid al-Aqsa. And it is because of the outpouring of support and the tremendous focus that has been placed on Masjid al-Aqsa that the Zionist entity has not gone to the extent that they usually do in violating Masjid al-Aqsa. We are fully aware that every year we witness horrific assaults and attacks on worshippers within Masjid al-Aqsa, within its blessed compound and outside of it, restrictions, massive restrictions. And it is only because of the sacrifices made, particularly by the Palestinian people, and the support of those outside of Palestine, that we see a tangible change on the ground. The 33,000 shuhada demand of us for the exchange of their blood, that we show some support from Masjid al-Aqsa for the Palestinian people, and particularly the resistance, who have been valiantly fighting the nuclear power of Israel and defeating it and bringing it to its knees. Indeed, this is a manifestation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's promise that the small will overcome the large. And this is indeed a special time for us to be a part of any Quds Day event, to show our support for Palestine and to join the call of the resistance. They're calling it the unification of the field. Means that we put all our differences aside and we focus on the important thing, and that is Masjid al-Aqsa, and that's the purpose of the Quds Day programs going forward.
Well, certainly, and also I think, when we're talking from a unity perspective, Ramadan is a month of unity, and again, unity in more ways than one. Unity with regard to Masjid al-Aqsa, because this is a common a war. This is a common struggle for the entire Muslim Ummah, the liberation of Masjid al-Aqsa. And just before we got an air with you, I was talking to an attorney, Tasneem Fredericks, out of Port Elizabeth, and she just returned recently from Masjid al-Aqsa. And again, she was talking about the support and the level of support and how this is actually welcomed by the people of Palestine. And more so, She says from South Africa, because she says when you're talking about the foreigners that are in Al Quds right now, that are in Masjid Al Aqsa, most of them are South Africans. In fact, even outnumbering those from the UK by 2 to 1, which shows again that we have what it takes here in South Africa. And also, I think we need to take also Al Quds there a lot more seriously here in South Africa. Sadly, today was a missed opportunity again. Jum'ah as well. Some mention should have been made in the Jum'ah khutbahs, in the bayans, considering what is happening in Palestine. It should have actually served, today should have served another stark reminder on what is actually happening in Palestine and why it's so important for us to show solidarity with the people of Palestine and to observe this day.
If we look at what is happening, this is not just a battle between Israel and Gaza or Israel and Palestine. This is for the very heart and soul of the Muslim world. And I don't say this lightly or in a euphemistic manner. I'm saying this in a very practical and tangible manner. The reason I'm making the statement is because what is actually being fought over is the existence of Islam as a holistic answer. It's not one that is isolated to rituals or isolated to merely just saying that you are Muslim. No, it's about Islam as a comprehensive answer to the current world order. And what you are looking at is Islam as a political concept. It's a Islam that speaks of defending your family, defending your home, defending your land, defending your people, be they Muslim or non-Muslim, from oppression and aggression. That is what is being discussed now. And that is why, if we look at the Zionist entity, they are very happy to collaborate with certain Muslims that are not in favor of resistance. We are seeing exactly that from the Palestinian Authority. In name, they are Muslims. They make their salah, but they are acting as agents for the Zionist entity. In fact, they are killing mujahideen. They are arresting them. They are handing them over for torture and even murder to the Zionist entity. In fact, they are at the moment, there's attempts to try and infiltrate into Gaza and create a force that will destabilize the resistance and to create an alternative. So that is what the battle is about now. It's about the very future of Islam. It is, do you strip out the very essence of Islam, or do you look at Islam as it is meant to be, the holistic answer? And there's a second layer that has to apply here, is that you are looking at the Western hegemony, the Western empire, fighting the resistance axis. That is the actual the scale of this particular battle. That is why you have the United States, you have Britain, you have numerous actors coming in to get involved and protect Israel, and then you have the resistance axis. So when we have events that are going to shape history, I believe that it is a tragedy not to mention this within our masajid, within our circles, within our iftar tables. We have to be speaking about what is happening in Palestine. We have to be speaking about what is happening in the world. That the moment the world is watching with bated breath, we're not sure if a World War III on the full scale is going to break out. So these are major events that will shape the lives of the generation that is here and the generation to come. And therefore, it is important, it's a duty, it's an amanat upon us to inform our children, to inform our families, to understand that you are living in that time, the times that you would read about, the times of the great leaders like Salah ad-Din, Abu Ubaidah Amr ibn al-Jarrah, Khalid ibn al-Walid, these are the great generals and leaders of Islam. And we are sitting in that time when history is being made, when Masjid al-Aqsa is being fought for, and its liberation, and the keys to Masjid al-Aqsa are up and available for liberation. That is what we are looking at now. So to ignore this is a tragedy and would be a betrayal to the Ummah. We have a duty and a responsibility to show our support and inform ourselves about what is happening.
Well, we certainly do as well, Zakir. But also, I think at the end of the day, we know Ramadan obviously will come and go, and many of the people will be coming back from their visit to Masjid al-Aqsa, some performing itikaf as well. But again, it's about maintaining our presence, maintaining our support. And one needs to obviously, be there on a regular basis. In fact, when I spoke to this lawyer, Justine Fredericks, and she said when she was being interrogated and questioned at the airport, at
Mm.
Ben Gurion Airport, and the question she was asked is, why do you want to visit Al Quds during a wartime? And Justine's answer was just so beautiful, being a lawyer as well. She says, you know what? I feel more safer in Masjid al Aqsa than what I feel in South Africa. Now, that was the answer that she had given. And I think the type of. This is the type of response we need to give, and this is what we need to do: is to make sure on a regular basis and send a strong message to the people of Palestine. You haven't been forgotten. We are with you, and we will be with you all the time.
Definitely. The responsibility to keep the flame burning of support, which is a raging inferno throughout the world, that is the responsibility of each and every one of us. Yes, it's been 6 months. We are heading towards the 6 month mark, and there is solidarity fatigue. There's this hopelessness that has reflected in many people. When you look at the images of children with their limbs blown off, children having to pull out their siblings from the rubble, those that have been orphaned, and mothers and fathers having to bury their children. These are devastating images and has an impact on the soul. But after we mourn and after we feel that deep sadness that cuts into the soul, we have to pull ourselves together and say that the Palestinian people, who are the direct recipients of this trauma, have not given up. They still believe. And you listen to all of their statements and their videos, and they say, Allah is sufficient for us. If Allah is sufficient for us, we should not lose hope. We should believe in the promise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that is why we need to be showing our solidarity and our support. There are numerous events that are taking place. Quds Day event in Johannesburg is taking place tomorrow. At the U.S. consulate in Sandton, 2 o'clock, there's going to be a large protest. Inshallah, we'll be emceeing at that event. But these are things that we can do. We can show our support. We can show that we are a united movement. We are an ummah that will not accept the atrocities being leveled against our brothers, and we will not answer that. We also will show that we know who is backing the Israelis. With the support of the United States, Israel would not be able to do what they are doing. So we are very clear on our position. We are very clear that this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commands us to do, is to speak truth to power. And that is the least that we can do from where we are. South Africa has taken a brave stand, and they've taken the matter to the ICJ. There's also pending cases, the ICC. They have put their submissions in. These are important strategies that we all have to employ and use in different manners and forms. But the important thing is for you to do something. It is not for us to decide what is to be successful or not. It is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to decide what is successful. For us, the duty is to do the little that we can do and leave the rest to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we know that in our history, it was the small spider, the ankabut, that protected Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. It was the small actions and the small deeds of many people. It was the staff of Musa alayhi salam, a small stick that hit the ocean, separated the ocean so Bani Israel could be saved. This is for the will of Allah, and that is only because you have faith. And we must not allow our faith to be eroded, but we must also take action. These are important things that we have to do. And inshallah, I believe for the first time that we are seeing the cracks that are so large in the Zionist entity that it is on the verge of collapse. And I believe if we keep the support up, if we keep the pressure up, and the Mujahideen discharge their duties as they have been doing, then I believe that we will see a just entity emerging, and this will be justice for all people, not just Palestinians, because justice and the justice of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is for all of mankind, and that is why He sent Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam as a mercy unto mankind.
Well, certainly, Zakir, Jazakallah khairan so much for that. And really, always an absolute pleasure talking with you right here on Salam Media, and for unpacking Al Quds Day. And I think more importantly, finding also the way forward in terms of us being relentless and non-stop. We know, as you mentioned, the Palestinians, obviously, their iman is at another level, and obviously they have given it all. What worse can be done to the people of Palestine, considering what we've seen unfolding in the last 6 to 7 months? But yet they remain resilient, they remain strong, and they are the ones that are giving us the inspiration and the courage to assist and to help and to support them. And our sacrifices are absolutely nothing compared to what they've had to endure. So, inshallah, we look forward to it, and we take, obviously, all the good stuff, all the wonderful words of wisdom, the advice that you've given us as well, and what you have actually shared with us this afternoon right here on Salam Media. So, all the best to you, Zakir. Enjoy the rest of this month of Ramadan as well. Allah Ta'ala accept, Allah reward your efforts, and looking forward to future engagements, inshallah.
Shukran for having me on the show, and Jazakallah for the kind words. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our efforts, and if there's any error, it is but our own, and if there's any benefit, all praise be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Shukran for this opportunity, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all the ibadat from everybody, and may we see a liberated and free Palestine with justice as the final goal, inshallah.
Ameen, Ameen, Allahumma Rabbil Alameen. Jazakallah for that, Zakir. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Zaakir Mayet with us this afternoon, unpacking Al Quds Day. We come back, and a lot more inspiration to come on the Iftar Drive. Dr. Qureisha Ismail Suleiman next.